Hello and welcome to the Graveyard in Nunawading for your NBL 1 Game of the Week between the 4-2 Nunawading Spectres and their Southeast Melbourne rivals, the 1-4 Knox Raiders. Liam Santamaria here alongside two very, very special guests, including Nunawading Spectres Hall of Famer and former NBL man Shane Bright, and my man, two-time NBL champ, former Melbourne Tigers captain and current Southeast Melbourne Phoenix general manager, Tommy Greer. Gents, welcome to the broadcast quiz. We'll get to you in just a sec. Shane, you played 249 games for the Spectres, captained this club for a number of seasons in the Seabold. How do you enjoy coming to the Nunawading Stadium and watching your old club go to battle?
You know, it's great to be here after all this time. I haven't been to many games lately, so to be back in the Dome is pretty good. You know, it's good that they've got the cameras rolling. I was thinking when we were watching, I'm thinking in my day they didn't have the cameras. They could have put a good highlight reel together, you know.
249 games, yeah, mate. You better have had some highlights in that package there.
Grizz, the starting lineups for tonight's game coming up there. Geez, some big names missing from the Spectres.
Oh, look, some massive names. Obviously away chasing those 3-on-3 dreams, missing Andrew Steele and their captain, Tommy Wright. So I think Simon Conn assuming the captaincy for the Spectres tonight.
And obviously Shane McDonald and Dane Swatella also big outs. Late news there. McDonald out with a calf.
4 starters.
And,
It's got to be 4 starters.
Hugely undermanned. Swatella, he's out with a back injury. So they hope to get those guys back pretty soon. And also their head coach, Dave Biwa, not in town. He's in Puerto Rico with the 3x3 group as well. So the Raiders come in, Shane, as the 14th team on the ladder. Nunawading 4th, but with all those guys missing, you'd have to think the Raiders are a big chance to get this one.
Yeah, they're going to get have to get a lot out of their bench, obviously. So we've got some good players though. Last couple of weeks back when I saw them play, yeah, a couple of guys that are very willing to shoot the ball. So if they have a big game, it should be right.
And of course, Knox with a big out as well with Darrell McDonald. Nugget obviously missing this game tonight on the sideline in the crutches there. Big out for them means Damon Hire has to assume that point guard position. They brought him down here to play the 2 spot, so he'll be playing a little bit out of position.
I'm told Darrell McDonald's out for the season.
Done.
Broken 5th metatarsal.
Oh no.
Which I did for the Raiders as well. So I feel for him. Grizz, what brings you down to the graveyard on a Saturday night?
This is my 2 former clubs. These are my 2 single clubs.
Right, I see.
Played for Knox in the early days and then Nunawading later in the career. So I always love this matchup and try and get down here. But
has it got anything to do with the fact that this is the heartland?
It does. It's got a lot to do with this. This is the heartland. I really wanted to pencil in a couple of games where I can come down and see the heartland of basketball go against one another. Knox, Nunawading, Kilsyth, Dandenong, all these clubs out here. This is what it's all about.
You've been putting together a very exciting squad for the Phoenix. Shane, have you kept an eye on some of his signings for the new club in the NBL?
Look, I'm aware that it's going down. I haven't really been invited down myself yet. I'm waiting for an invite.
He's looking for the invite. All right.
He's a Spectres Hall of Famer.
That's okay, mate. Well, I'll move on to the handwritten invitations after this. I'll move on. I'll be doing that all day Sunday, so it's on the way, Bridie.
All right, well, we mentioned that this is 4th versus 14th. Nunawading coming in after a bit of a disappointing loss last week to Frankston. They had Tom Wright and Andrew Steele away playing the 3x3 in Darwin. McDonald and Swatella, they played that game but struggled through injury. Went down to Hadzamerovic and that Bozeman and that crew from the Blues. Whereas the Raiders, they're coming in on a bit of a losing streak themselves. They've only won 1 of their 5 games so far. They beat the Southern Sabres. They've lost to Kilsyth, Geelong, Melbourne and Ballarat. Had some tough games, but geez. So speaking to D-Mac before tonight's tip-off, he said, mate, if we don't get this, I'm really very, very unhappy considering the guys that aren't playing.
Yeah, you'd have to be feeling pretty good that a bunch of the first 5 are out.
Managed to catch one of the earlier games this season. Knox, you mentioned that the game they dropped, it might have been their first game of the season to the Kilsyth Cobras, and they really pushed that tough Kilsyth Cobras team right to the wire in that one. And now they're actually missing Adam Thosby in that game as well. So maybe having him back in the lineup against the depleted Nunawading might be enough to get him across the line.
So the Raiders are going to start Hire and Mike Rose in the backcourt, as well as Adam Thosby, the 3-point sniper, former Sydney King, as well as Kadarian Rains and James Hunter in the front line, and an inexperienced starting lineup for the Spectres. Con, Lucas Walker, John Cook, Costas Phrenopoulos, and
well done,
Jack Saunders.
Well done.
Got Phrenopoulos?
Been working on the...
You happy with that?
On the pronounce.
We are underway. Walker misses from range and the Raiders clear it. Hire has it.
And I like that. With a lot of outs, Lucas Walker has to be more aggressive. He mentioned during the week he was just trying to fit into this roster with a lot of superstars, but those guys aren't here tonight. He's really got to put some points on the board.
There's Rains trying to go to work on Simon Con. Came up short. I'm excited to watch that matchup throughout this ball game. And they go back at it here through Con. Single coverage with Rains. Walker finds Con underneath, but turnover. Mike Rose has it. Got the mismatch with Walker. And Raines draws the foul. Mike Rose, Tommy, former Melbourne Tigers import, played with you for only a short period of time.
Cup of coffee.
He had a cup of coffee with the Tigers. Out of Eastern Kentucky, comes in averaging 13 points and 7 boards per game. Here he is, Mike Rose.
He was brought out for his shooting, and he's definitely still got that going for him. Great from range. So's this guy.
Whack. Damon Hire starts with a 3-ball.
Absolute weapon when he gets it going from range, Damon Hire.
That's a nice start for the Raiders. Here's Saunders. Oh, fade away. Oh, nice bucket there from Jack Saunders, Nunawading Jr. coming into the starting lineup. Not much going on offensively for the Raiders. James Hunter in the block. Former New Zealand breaker. Fades away, can't finish. High gets it back. Rose explores off the dribble. Good defense, Lucas Walker. And he pushes it in transition.
Shooters out there. Oh.
You would have let that fly, I think, Shane?
No. I was looking to get him the ball on the wing. I thought he was open.
Thoseby, good hands there from Chronopoulos. Breaks up that transition action from the Raiders, and it's 3-2 Knox in the early going.
Yeah, I think Saunders needs to have a good game. I remember last time I come here, he let a few threes fly, and he's a pretty good shot. So.
Again, he can knock it down from range.
Yeah, he definitely needs a good game.
Here's Hire from mid-range, and Con clears it for the Spectres. Chronopoulos coming off a big game, 21 points last week against Frankston, and he's flowing with confidence. Costas Chronopoulos.
And he really is an underrated talent in the NBL 1. I've seen a lot of Costas over the years, and because his awkward style of game, he doesn't get much credit from the media around the traps, but he's always tough. He plays with a lot of energy. He's a hustle guy, but he knows how to put the ball in the basket as well.
Comes in averaging 11 points a game, but yeah, as I said, 21 points, team high 21 on 10 of 14 last week. Without Wright and Steele, he really kind of took that mantle last week for the Spectres.
He definitely brings energy to the program.
Here's Hunter. Pick and roll action with Damon Hire. Finds Raines.
Oh, that's
takes
crushed.
right into the chest of Simon Conn.
Credit Simon Conn staying in front of that one. I would have had the Matador cape out. I would have been letting him go.
We've got 7 on the shot clock. Here, as Rose catches it, fades away, and knocks it down from mid-range.
That was a well-executed set by the Raiders that time.
Mike Rose puts Knox up by 2. Here's Walker. Takes Hunter off the dribble. Good strong take from Lucas Walker. John Cook comes in with the offensive board.
That was a fantastic take by Lucas Walker. That's what we've got to see out of him all night. Whenever he gets matched up against James Hunter on that perimeter, he's bigger, stronger, and quicker. He needs to take advantage of that.
Good pass from Thoseby setting up Hunter, but he couldn't finish. And here comes that man Walker in transition. Chronopoulos wants it. Puts it on the deck, finds Con. Oh, great pass. John Cook finishes underneath. Con has made a living at this level from that mid-range. And they're just dropping the dime. There's Kadarian Raines looking to bang bodies. It's 2-point lead to the Spectres, 4 minutes into the NBL game of the week. Con can't finish. Raines again looking to pound away. Oh, good help D there from John Cook. But Kadarian Raines draws the foul and he'll head to the strike.
And the Knox Raiders clearly making a focus of Raines here at the moment, trying to go at Simon Conn, put him in a little bit of foul trouble, but credit to Simon, he's done a really good job just maintaining that wall, not giving up anything easy, not giving away fouls either.
out of Virginia Tech, Reigns, and get this, has played pro ball in Argentina, Thailand, Qatar, Cyprus, Greece, I'm still going here, boys, Lebanon,
Wow.
and the Czech Republic before arriving down under.
Jeez, I tell you what, I hope that was over a decade, not around
How
the
old
world
is that
ticket.
guy?
He's 28,
Wow.
and he's averaging 10 points and 8 boards a game for the Raiders in the early going this season.
Yeah, and if you saw him
Thailand.
if you saw him in warm-up, he's not the guy you want to get caught under the rim with.
As you say, Con managing him well thus far. How's the Thai league? Do we know?
No idea.
I don't follow it as closely as some. That's the truth.
Well, nice to have him in the NBL 1. Here's Phrenopoulos.
There we go.
Old
geez.
TBA.
It's a good take.
Don't want to work off the dribble. Phrenopoulos stepping up in the absence of his talented teammates.
I wouldn't mind seeing Thosby get a little bit more aggressive here. He's got some NBL experience, proven scorer.
Great help D there from Cook. 6 on the shot clock.
Oh, the step back.
Step back. Oh,
And Rose gets it back as the shot clock erroneously expires in the background.
Not bad, mate, not bad.
There's Thosby. Oh, there's a foul on Saunders. And just as you called for it, Tommy, Adam Thosby gets into the ball game.
Look, that's dangerous. Just letting him have a couple of freebies here, get that eye in. Right, you would have loved that back in the day, a little free hit. Get yourself started.
yeah. It's. I think looking at Knox obviously got that focus of getting the big fella the ball, but you know I'd be inclined to encourage the outside shot from what I'm seeing at the moment. You know,
They've got a few weapons out there, definitely, between Hire and Thosby and Mike Rose.
The starting lineup, I mean, I think James Hunter's a really good ball player. I think there's a couple of NBL teams looking for a backup big that should give him a bit of a look. But I like this starting lineup for the Raiders. It's their depth where things start to become a bit of an issue. But maybe not so much tonight, where Nunawading have a similarly shallow squad.
I think now the big fella's out. This is going to be the interesting to see without Con on there. I think Con's that stabilising, you know, presence in the game. I think they look a lot better when they get the ball to him and then come back out. So it'd be interesting to see how they go with this lineup.
That's a really good point. I mean, he commands so much respect on that offensive end, doesn't it? Defenses have to really sort of hedge in and move towards him. Difficult guy to guard one-on-one.
Thosby shooting 91% from the foul line coming into tonight's game. And that's money for Jab.
Barely touched the net.
Shooting 48%
So they've got the
from long
half-court
range.
trap going now.
Back into his own.
The youngster Gandolfo checking in to run the point for the Spectres.
And he's a shooter as well, young Jack.
Ooh,
Phrenopoulos fires away with the shot
is that a
clock
shot clock running out?
running down. 4 on the clock there. Rose exploring, finds Hire, steps into it, and knocks it down. Damon Hire from long range. It's a 4-point lead to Knox. 6 minutes into the opening quarter.
Ooh.
There's Walker from the corner. Phrenopoulos cleans it up. And wow, get out of town. Katarian Rains blocks it and gets called for the foul. Here's the shot from Walker in the corner. Cook cleans it up here. And, geez, let that go, Grizzleman.
It's almost in the no-call zone, wasn't it? Jeez.
Foul's a foul, boys. Now, you're a big advocate for that,
I
aren't
am.
you,
I
Tizza,
am a
man?
big advocate
both
for that.
NBL 1 levels.
I am.
If it's, we might need a bit of a rule change.
No, I feel
or at
like
least
if that initial contact,
adapt.
if the initial contact is with the hand on the ball,
You've got to
whatever's
land.
going on down
Yeah,
the bottom there, just let it play.
guy lands on another guy, just
They're the best moments.
through.
Aren't they the best moments?
had the good moments. No one's questioning the moments.
We want guys like Kadarian Rains trying to block shots.
We do, absolutely.
And Cook cuts it to a 3-point margin. Thosby. Oh, Mike Rose cuts back door. Loses the handle. Thosby wants to make a play. 7 on the shot clock. Explores. Good defense from Cook. He stood up. And there's Kadarian Rains with an early throw down.
Good athleticism.
That is impressive. Straight back up. Almost standing start. 1 step.
And with no Simon Conn on the floor, we know Dane Swatala missing tonight. Rains is having his way on the interior right now.
It's almost like Nunawading needs someone to be a bit more aggressive here. You know, there's a lot of passing around. It's pretty slow. No one attacking the rim. Looking for Lucas Walker, Costas, to start being a little bit more aggressive here and make the defense think and shift.
Of course, that's usually Shane McDonald, isn't it?
Shane McDonald or Tom Wright, who I consider one of the best point guards in the NBL, in the NBL 1, and really should potentially get looks around the NBL as well, missing one of their primary shooters as well, and Andrew Steele.
Shown there, we see Kadarian Rains with the throwdown, and then on that possession, the and one finish, and as a result, Duncanberg making the change, reinserting Simon Conn.
It's good to see a fellow athlete out there that can do that sort of stuff.
That was you back in the day, mate.
Oh, we banked
it upstairs, just pinning people.
Kadarian Rains just banked the free throw. There, extend Knox's margin up by 6 now. Here's Gandolfo.
So this ball really needs to go inside.
Yeah, there it is. I like
That's
that.
exactly
There's
right.
Conn, and he drains the mid-range J.
And that was well worked through there by the Nunawading inspectors. Saw the zone, took a moment to assess it, and then got into their system.
Rains lets it fly from long range. Simon Conn dared him to shoot it.
It's going to be
And
hard
he
to guard
said,
if
thank
he's
you very
hit
much.
those. Yeah.
He's got 10 now, Rains. 10 of Knox's 21. Here's the veteran, Caspers. And that was Baxter, couldn't finish underneath, and the Raiders have it. 7-point lead. Looking for their second win of the NBL 1 season. Knox. Simon Grant, 27-year-old, has checked in. Rains feeling it.
A little heat check when it arrived that time.
So yeah, there's a pep in Renopolis' step I've never seen before.
That's his bread and butter.
You need to watch more Costas then. Because
Really?
there is pep in this guy's step.
Okay. I feel like
He plays with as much energy as anyone in this competition.
I feel like he's enjoying there's a part of him that's enjoying the absence of some of those other guys, the greater responsibility, the ball's in his hands and just making plays.
I mean, like I was mentioning before, he's that player who's often overlooked, and he's had to play behind Shane McDonald his entire career. Insert Tommy Wright. He's playing between two absolute superstars of the competition, but every time this kid gets a chance, he puts up numbers, and he is tough to guard.
Couldn't finish the floater there, but Caspers cleaned it up, and the Spectres cut it to 3. Rose looks at it from long range, turns it down, and now lets it fly.
And I like that from Rose. He needs to be respected. That's what he does. That's his go-to game. He's knocking down that 3-ball.
There's Baxter picks it off. Ball back to Hronopoulos. He's the man making the plays. Rains sends it away. And here's Hire in transition. Toes the arc. Bang! Damon Hire
Good shooter.
with his second 3-ball of the night. Actually, third. He's 3 from long range, Damon Hire. And the Raiders are up by 6. Final possession of the opening term.
It's an early go.
Gandolfo finds Caspers. Goes to his money man, Simon Conn. He can't provide. Offensive board. Hronopoulos lines it up. And that's off. And that's the first term. Knox 24, Nunawading 18. And on the back of some hot shooting from Damon Hire and some strong work on the interior from Kadarian Rains, the Raiders coming in tonight as the 14th team in the NBL ladder, off to a good strong start.
Yeah, no doubt. Is that thrown to me? I think Nunawading, looking at Nunawading, seen them play a couple of weeks ago versus today, I think Nunawading really have to make a focus point of being a bit more patient. They look like they're not waiting for their on balls, and you know, getting that ball inside is going to be their weapon. So I think, yeah, obviously Knox, you know, they're starting to hit from outside. If they're, you know, Nunawading have to be real focused on getting good box outs. Probably encourage the big fella. I know he knocked one shot down. Probably want to see him hit a few more of those before you know, bother to come up and guard. But yeah, I think, you know, we got the pressure on the hoop, like you said. Costas is, you know, I can't say his surname. How do you say that? I know the guy, but
Costas.
Yeah, Costas will do. I like the intensity he's playing with. He's going in hard and you know, putting pressure on the hoop as they need. But again, I'm a big fan of the ball going through the big guys. It's got to get to those big guys.
And look, that's a really good point. That's something that Knox has done pretty well. They really did make a focus of Rains early, and he got his points up a little bit, and that opened things up on the perimeter. And we saw Damon Hire, who's obviously good enough to knock that down with any amount of space. And I think the Knox Raiders will be pretty wrapped with this the start of this game.
And you mentioned their three-point shooting, Shane. They're 4 of 7 from long range.
Yeah.
The Raiders, and Nunawading 0 for 6.
There's a couple of transition three-pointers, though. You know, it's not necessarily the half court. They sort of come down, you know, obviously good shooters, but I think, you know, one of the things in the game, you really need the big guys handling the ball just to get the foul count going. You know, we saw a couple of swats. They didn't get the foul, maybe get a couple of up fakes.
And, look, and you don't want to harp on it, but you look at that three-point percentage and you think about the guys that are missing. You know, Shane McDonald, Tom Wright, and Andrew Steele. I mean, they really are the predominant three-point knockdown guys for the Spectres. But looking at Jack Saunders, he really is a threat from the perimeter. Young kid, number 9 out there, guarding higher at the moment. If he can get a bit more aggressive and knock a few down, that would really help.
They come into this game last in scoring, the Raiders, 76 points per game. Second last in three-point percentage, 27%.
Yeah,
but with guys like Hire and Thosby, Mike Rose, you feel like a game like this where they catch 5 from long range is just around the corner, and they've made a good, strong start. As Con does here in the second term, scores his first bucket of the quarter and cuts the margin of 4. Kadarian Rains having a rest right now, and you just get the feeling like maybe it's time for Con to pile on some buckets.
You don't need to worry about that. You really don't need to worry. You won't even notice. You'll look at the stat sheet at the end of the game and there'll be 20 and 10 waiting there for you.
I tell you, I'm going to do you a favour, Grizz. I'm going to do you a favour. From now on, every time Simon Con scores a bucket, I'm going to mention the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix membership drive.
I like that.
SEMphoenix.com.au.
That's it. Get on board. Support the Heartland.
And there's Casey Marshall coming in off the bench and knocking down his first open look. We'll get the specifics of the
I was going to say, man, you're getting pretty good at that. That was some pretty solid cross promotion right there. You've done very well.
Okay.
Very
well,
well.
You got to keep me honest though. I might just get caught up in the Simon Con scoring showcase as Thosby puts it on the deck and kisses it in off the glass. I want to hear about the membership packages soon. Well, Chris, next break.
First things first, we've got to get Bridie on board. So
can you invite him down to the club?
Just got to invite him down. Just got to get that letter written, hand signed. Just get him down there, get him involved.
Here's Caspers. Ooh, Caspers steps up. Your boy Grizz, Jesse Caspers lines one up from long range.
Absolutely. He's missed a number of games this season through injury, but great to have him back out there.
And hits his first 2 shots of this one. And a foul off the ball. Here, who'd that go on?
Let's get another look. It's on Saunders. It's a little too tight guarding Sobey off that down screen.
Caspers and Pernopoulos check out. Walker back in. And There's Walker and Con out there for the Spectres with Saunders, Gandolfo and Baxter. Here's Hunter. Con giving him a little more respect than he gave Rains from long range. Thoseby, that's the travel. Just needs to let that thing fly. It's a 5-point lead to the Raiders. 2 minutes and change into the second quarter. The ball's got to go through Walker and Con here for the Spectres. Here's Gandolfo looking to make a play. Wow.
Strong play.
Good take. Ooh. And that's a great play inside from Daniel Baxter. Started last week in Tom Wright's absence, came off the bench today, but look at this, work on the offensive glass.
And you love that. You love seeing that out of the young fellas. Obviously getting extra opportunity with guys away, stepping up to their challenge, leveling up to the toughness.
The key is the guard's got to stay aggressive, keep putting pressure on the hoop, get some good defensive out, out of this, get a stop.
I just don't feel like there's much sort of direction in the Raiders offense right now. A bit clunky at the offensive end. Don't know who they're going to or where. And
you can almost see that on D-Mac's face on the sideline. He does not look happy.
Yeah, and he calls on Damon Hire straight away. Just get in the game and get me some buckets. Here's Gandolfo. I'm enjoying saying his name just quietly.
I keep waiting for you to say Gandolfo.
Yeah.
I feel like this should be in The Sopranos. And Darryl McDonald calls for time. You were talking about the frustration on his face, Tommy. Just a little disorganised at the offense.
D-Mac always looks upset. You could bring him a cup of coffee and he looks upset. But he looked especially distraught over those last few possessions, and he'd seen enough.
And with all those guys missing from Nunawading, you're 14th, they're 4th. You're coming into their home court, but they've got all those big names missing. You think, geez, we really should get this win. With that, obviously that's an opportunity, but with that comes a bit of pressure, especially on the coach.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think, good for the young guys in Nunawading to get some minutes and also get the confidence to be on the floor and actually take the shots that sometimes when when your star players are there, you might be a bit more reluctant to shoot. So it's encouraging to see the guards are not afraid to take it to the rack. But I think this game, from what we see, is going to come down to playing solid D, encouraging this, especially that unit that D-Mac had out there just then. You could see they were a little bit lost in where they were going to score from.
Yeah, they've been almost 2 minutes without a bucket.
Yeah.
Knox, 6-0 scoring run to the Spectres. So good timeout from McDonald, and he's got Hire back into the game. He's got his starting lineup on the floor. And they look to hang on to and maybe extend this early lead. Here's Hire. Looking to go inside of Rains. And he wheels and deals and scores over Con.
And you can see that's clear direction from head coach Darryl McDonald out of that timeout. They wanted to go right back inside. They saw it work in that first quarter. Open things up for him on the perimeter.
Here's Walker off the flex cut. Catches, fades. Can't finish. Chronopoulos cleans it up. Con going right back at it. Rains in the block. Skip pass, Walker, and good hit.
That's Saunders.
Jack Saunders.
Good shooter.
He is an absolute gunner from range when he gets going.
Is he a Nunawading junior, Jack Saunders? I'm going to go with yes. Do either of you?
Just let me check my
Shane,
records.
you're the Hall of Famer
Yeah.
around here.
Let me check my record.
You tapped in?
Yeah, no idea, mate.
23 years old, playing 15 minutes off the bench and coming in and having a bit of an impact tonight. Walker.
Nowhere to go.
Couldn't stick the short range, steps out to long range and drains it. Lucas Walker for 3 and the Spectres take the lead.
BMAC would have to be disappointed with the lack of boxing out going on from Knox at the moment. Nunawading getting plenty of second opportunities.
Especially against a player like Lucas Walker, you know he's going to the glass every time.
That's Nunawading's second 3-point bucket for the night. And they take a 1-point lead on their home floor midway through the second quarter. Thosby. Here's Rose. Higher there, 3 guns on the perimeter. Higher finds Hunter and 1 on the shot clock and he drills it. James Hunter from long range.
This is a big time shot by James Hunter, much needed. Like you said, Knox drying up a little bit on the offensive end. Those gunners we were talking about in Higher, Rose and Thosby gone a little bit quiet.
There's Simon Conn doing...
Made a living out of that shot, old Simon.
That has to be the most consistent thing in the NBL 1 or former Seagull over the last decade, isn't it? Simon Conn mid-range, good.
Geez, is it Simon Conn mid-range or Shane McDonald lefty floater?
I think it's both. You can have both.
You can come down to the graveyard and take it all in.
Yeah, you're going to see both.
The Raiders score in response. Here,
Shooter.
Saunders has no conscience. Here's Higher exploring in transition. Geez, I want to see more of that from Damon Higher.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And look, he showed that at the NBL level. He would come in. He was a real energy plug in the NBL. I like it when he attacks the rim like that. I think it makes his life a whole lot easier with defenders, knowing that they've got to gap him a little bit.
Here's Renopoulos.
Here they are again, getting another board.
Rains eventually clears it and pushes it in transition. He's got Higher underneath, finds Hunter, and he draws the foul. Well, it's good play from Kadarian Range. Just those 3 quick dribbles out of the defensive rebound, and
it's a little bit slow getting across.
Three dribbles nonetheless.
Yeah, speaking on Damon Higher, I feel like we could be a chance to see a bit of a breakout performance from him tonight. Hit those 3 threes in the opening term. He's a flat-out scorer, but he came into this game pretty dry on the season so far. He was 4 of 23 from long range coming into this game. 17% from 3 on the year. Had just 11 points last week against Ballarat. And it's a guy that, you know, you look at this level and you think he could be a 20-point-a-game guy.
And credit to Damon High, he's been working his way back from injury as well. So he missed the first couple of games of the season for the Knox Raiders. Speaking with their physio, Simon Wigg, during the week, he's just been working his way back into this. They're starting to feel good about him, though. They actually mentioned a pretty similar thing, saying that breakout game from Damon Higher is coming any week now. Like you said, up to 11 points now. This could be the one.
The bit I took out of that was speaking to their physio, Simon Wigg, during the week.
Do you know why that is?
Wow, how is the research from the Grizzle Man ahead of NBL 1 game of the week?
Do you know what? That's because Simon Wigg is coming on board as physio for the South East Melbourne Phoenix.
Is he?
And
is there a
coincidentally, if you want to buy a membership,
what do you do?
SEMphoenix.com.au.
Well, what are the membership packages available?
Oh,
what can you do?
There's anything you want. The most important thing, though, is that you can get on board. You can support the Heartland for as little as $100. $100 for a GA membership, which gets you access to 5 games throughout the season. But there's a whole range of products on the website. Just head over there, have a look, and you'll find something that suits what you're looking for.
SEMphoenix.com.au put together an exciting roster and a couple of more pieces to come as Higher does exactly what we called for. Put it on the deck, attack the bucket.
Yeah, he looked good there, didn't he?
To the foul line.
A lot of strength, a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism. Like you know, just needed to finish that play, but he is impressive.
That's right. Like his ability to actually sort of get on the rim, you know, that athleticism really separates him from a lot of other guards at this level.
Raiders extend their margin. The lead now up to 7. Important 3 minutes here ahead of halftime for the Spectres, as things could potentially get out of hand before the break. Saunders.
He will not die wondering.
No, he will not. He will.
He lets them fly.
You've got to respect it, though, from a young kid, though, don't you? When they get out there.
I love it.
The kids with the confidence just come out and take that shot.
Walker's clean up, cuts it to 5. 2 minutes and 30 to play here in the second quarter. Step back from higher. Fell short. Veronopoulos rejects the screen, then finds Caspers. Walker toes the arc.
This is that mismatch.
Here's Veronopoulos. He wants it. 6 on the clock. Step back. Can't finish it. And Thosby takes it for the Raiders. He's got Mike Rose on the weak side. The ball just sticking a little. And Raines goes to work, finds Hunter. He knocked one down before and sticks another one.
The big fellas for the Knox Raiders are cooking. Raines with 1. Big Jimmy Hunter, that's his second knockdown from the perimeter.
And he goes to 7 points for the half. Hunter, and there's a turnover, and the Raiders just...
Got Nunawading rattled a bit here.
They do. Up by 8, minute 40 to play.
Well, it's surprising Nunawading. I mean, you know, half-court trap, straight to the centre, but we're not seeing anyone present in the middle there. But they really got to get someone showing so that we can, you know, get the ball sort of up the court.
That's exactly right. And in that first quarter, when they did do that, we saw Simon Conn step up into that middle position. So good substitution by Duncan, head coach of Nunawading Spectres, getting Simon back in the game.
And they fell into a little zone there.
Was that a zone? Yep.
Thosby had a look from 3. Good board there from Grant. Gives the Raiders another look at it. Oh, good look there from Raines. And
what a
higher finishes with
tough.
the bow.
You give him the switch hand on that, or upward 2, release with 1.
I like it. Here you see, good look from Raines.
Check the athleticism of High here. Upward 2, just switches out, sees the contact coming.
Yeah, switch
Rode
your hands
the bump.
Might be a little generous, but I like it.
Hey, we're here to entertain.
We are, and Damon High is doing that. And so are the Raiders. They go up by 10. Good timeout from Duncan Berg for the Spectres. They need it. And High, he's up to 13 for the game, 4 of 7 from the
This
field.
is the guy you were talking about before.
Yeah.
That was having a hard time. He looks like a champion tonight. What's going on?
Well, comes in averaging 12 points a game, but on 28% from the field,
Yeah.
17% from 3. And there he's up to 15, 5 of 8 from the field, and 3 of 5 from long range. So
Nunawading is a good gym to play at, though. You know, some gyms you feel good shooting, so maybe this might be his gym.
Speaking of this gym, any of these banners belong to you up here, Shane? Were you that part of that 1992?
Couple of WNBL.
Oh, there's about 10 WNBL ones up there. We had Timsy up here before, and Rob Marr and the like, but were you part of that 92 Magic Championship?
No, I was actually signed that year, but then that was the year that Nunawading and Sweatdog. So I was signed with
The Spectres.
the Spectres, but then they had
Gorge.
the big merge, so I had to sit a year out, so I actually missed that year.
Right, and then you came in back in 93.
Yeah, so everyone that isn't one.
So 93,
was
94,
me.
95. That's
Everyone.
What sort of stats are we bringing up here, man?
Great question, man. You really
wow.
set
So
it
you
up.
filled in the gap there between the
I
titles.
was actually signed in the year they won when I walked out as well in the last one. But
Goodness me. All right, let's get back to the
I
action.
might have been the bad
So
omen. Jeez.
about those memberships.
How about those Spectres? Here's Saunders, lets it fly again. Big rainmaker from Jack Saunders.
There it is. You're not going to squash this kid's confidence.
Has come in and had an impact. and cuts the margin back to 4. Thoseby exploring with the left hand. Given he's a left-hander, it's not too surprising. It does enough to draw the foul and get to the strike. It's been Rains and Higher that have done the bulk of the scoring for Knox in this opening half, but Thoseby is a guy who can certainly get buckets.
You know what I have noticed with all the flags around is there's no retired numbers up on the rafters.
Mate, would there be room? How many retired numbers would there be?
He's looking for his own one.
I'm
That's what he's
looking
doing. He's searching around.
Jeez, the names that have come through this stadium.
Actually, yeah, Nunawading's been a powerhouse over its time.
Here's Saunders again, heat check. Thoseby's got it. And there's 4-second differential between the shot and the game clock. As Thoseby waves Mike Rose away, they go to Higher. Pick and roll with Rains. And Higher, can't finish on the floater. Grant with the offensive board. And a foot violation called. It's going to the Spectres. 3.4 to play. Flopping warning given to Kadarian Rains. Told the next one will be a tee. 3 seconds to play. Down by 10, the Spectres, as we close in on half time. This is a 3/4 length baseball pass to Simon Conn, Christian Leitner style.
Yeah, it's either that or they're going to get Costas off the screen early, get him going downhill, little step up. I think they're the two options.
See, this is where the foul counts against Nunawading. See, by not getting the ball in the bucket, getting a few fouls, I mean, they could just foul it out if they wanted to here. Is that one foul to them? So they can play full court D, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and only 2 in the first quarter, 3 in total. Rose steals it, hangs in the air, and can't quite make it count.
That was exciting.
And that's half time. This is a replay here on that final possession. Cook threw it away, and Rose just couldn't quite put it in off the glass. And that's half time, boys. 10-point lead to the Raiders, 48-38. And we'll take a short break and come back to break it all down in just a couple of minutes. Rose has it. Got the mismatch with Walker. And Rains draws the foul. Here he is, Mike Rose.
And he's brought out for his shooting, and he's definitely still got that going for him. Great from range. So is this
Higher,
guy.
whack. Damon Higher starts. He is Mike Rose.
And he's brought out for his shooting, and he's definitely still got that going for him. Great from range. So is this
Higher,
guy.
whack. Damon Higher starts with. That's a nice start for the Raiders. Here's Saunders. Oh, fade away. Oh, nice bucket there from Jack. That's a nice start for the Raiders. Here's Saunders. Oh, fade away. Oh, nice bucket there from Here's Higher from mid-range, and Con clears it for the Spectres. Phrenopoulos coming off a big game, 21 points last week against Frankston, and he's flowing with confidence. Here's Higher from mid-range, and Con clears it for the Spectres. Phrenopoulos coming off a big game, 21 points last week against Frankston, and he's flowing with confidence. Hunter. Pick and roll action with Damon Higher. Finds Rains.
Oh, that's
Takes
truck.
it right into the chest.
Go.
We've got 7 on the shot clock. Here, as Rose catches it, fades away, and knocks it down from mid-range.
That's well executed. Go.
We've got 7 on the shot clock. Here, As Rose catches it, fades away, and knocks it down from mid-range.
That was well executed.
Here's Walker. Takes Hunter off the dribble. Good strong take from Lucas Walker. John Crook comes in with the offense. Here's Walker. Takes Hunter off the dribble. Good strong take from Lucas Walker. John Crook comes in with the offense. Welcome back to the Graveyard in Nunawading, where the Knox Raiders have a 10-point lead at halftime in the NBL Game of the Week. 48-38. Liam Santa Maria here with you. Shane Bright's with us alongside Southeast Melbourne Phoenix GM Tommy Greer. Tommy, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Phoenix membership drive we haven't mentioned enough times.
Yeah, mate, just all night long. All night, Lionel Richie. Just all night.
Just a second, but Shane, the Raiders, the 10-point lead at halftime, and really a lot of it's on the back of the play of their two leading scorers, Damon Hire and Kadarian Rains. 30 points between them.
Yeah, I think we were discussing when we were having a bit of a break there that, you know, they've done a good job shutting Rose down, but a couple of other players are breaking out, so they've obviously got to pick up a bit of D to get back in this game.
And on the flip side, Tommy, no scorers in double digits for the Spectres. Obviously, we know a whole bunch of big names out, but really we're looking for a little bit more from Simon Conn and Lucas Walker, I would have thought.
Absolutely. That's exactly where my eyes went as well. 6 points for Simon Conn, 7 for Lucas Walker. And look, I know that there's a lot of Simon's game which is dictated by that pick and roll with either Tom Wright or Shane McDonald coming off that and feeding in those little slip passes. But I mean, time and time again, Simon Conn finds a way to put up big numbers, and I'd be expecting a big second half out of him. I'd be surprised if he didn't finish with at least 18 points in this one. And Lucas Walker, I think we just need to see him be more aggressive. When he gets a touch, it's got to be, he's bigger and he's stronger than any of his opponents out there. It needs to be one quick move, hard move, direct move towards the basket, draw the defense, and it'll open things up for people like Simon Conn and shooters, the young Jack Saunders out on the perimeter as well.
Walker has spoken about his joining this Spectres lineup and how there's a whole bunch of stars on this team. You know, McDonald and Wright and Switala and Conn and all those guys, 3 of those guys, as well as Andrew Steele not here tonight. But with those guys not in uniform tonight, he can't play that sort of wait for the game to come to him style. It's a good point. Now, we spoke about the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix membership drive, scmphoenix.com.au. Grizz, you've signed a whole bunch of guys. You've got 8 non-restricted players already on the roster, plus Ty Wesley, who's going to take up one of your import spots. Which is the signing you've pulled off to this point that you are most pleased with or excited about?
I mean, I'm excited.
All of them, blah, blah, blah.
I know. It's not blah, blah, blah. I mean, quite honestly, we're excited about all the guys we've managed to get. It really was a focus for us to get into free agency early. We knew that we were starting from scratch. We had not one player on the books, so we wanted to act early in free agency. We think we did a good job of obtaining the best talent that was available and out there. But look, if I've got to pick one guy, I'm pretty excited that we're able to bring Kyle Adnam home. You know, we are all about the Southeast, and we are all about the heartland of basketball, and so to be able to bring back a guy like Kyle Adnam, who has had to move to Sydney to ply his trade because there wasn't room down here in Melbourne, we're really excited about that.
I also quite like the Kendall Stevens
signing.
That was a good one. It was a savvy play. You've got to try and find those. You've done that. You've gone over to Europe, found guys that maybe others that maybe were forgotten about a little bit. Ben Madgen and
it was definitely a good find. I had a pretty good scout working. I had a pretty good scout.
No,
working
well,
on that one.
no. You take all the credit because he'd fallen. We brought him up this time last year,
Of course, yep.
but he'd fallen back off the radar, gone over to Spain, and there wasn't much talk about him in the off season. Now I know there was at least one other club that had him in mind and was maybe looking at it, but
we knew about that as well.
Oh, yeah?
We moved quite quickly when we heard that people were starting to talk about Kendall Stevens and the fact that he could play in the NBL as a local. And once word started getting around, we looked to pull the trigger pretty quickly.
Shane, do you remember his old man Everett Stevens? Played for, who did he play for? Geelong and Newcastle.
A couple of years in Newcastle, I think.
No.
Would you care to elaborate?
Well, he did some good work.
No, I must admit, I haven't had my finger on the pulse when it comes to all the basketball. I was very much a player. Love to watch it, but you know, haven't sort of bought in. But now that the name Southeast has returned, not that it's affiliated or anything, but it's got that nice ring to it. So
absolutely, I like hearing that, Roddy.
And tell us about the has-beens. Right, you got some big names
the has-beens,
in
mate. We're doing
team.
it all. We've got all the past players of the Melbourne
Can we get
Magic,
some
the
name
Melbourne
drops?
Tigers. What our biggest, Chris Anstey.
Yes.
We've got Andrew Parkinson running around, Darren Lucas. We've got my boy Jared Scoffin, who, you know Jared Scoffin. He's been running around. Love that guy. We've had guys like Andrew Walter. We've got Sam McKinnon, Jason Smith has dropped in. We've got Simon Dwight.
Holy moly, so who's
landlord?
We've got everybody, mate.
What-
When everyone has if someone's injured, we just throw it out there going, boys, who wants to come in? So
What about
everyone's
the podcast that team could put together? I tell you what, the stories that would come out in
Well,
that
sure
locker
they
room.
get told.
It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, and
We've
Darren
travelled
Lucas
around.
is one of these buses.
Oh, yeah, Lux coach
Yep.
or whatever it was. That was fantastic to Adelaide. He set us up there and, got his ride to Adelaide in style. It was beautiful.
Very good.
But we're off to Cairns, I think in 3 weeks' time for another tournament that we're heading up for. So it'd be good to see the guys again and get amongst it.
When you play in these Masters tournaments, it's a little bit unfair having all
Hey, mate, we went to the World Championships in New Zealand and come up against the Lithuanian Olympic team from 2004.
Wow, really?
The actual team that knocked out Australia for the bronze medal. So Sam McKinnon, Anstey, they were very geared up to try and win, even though it was the Masters. But
Was it the gold medal game?
Yeah, the World Championship. Yeah, there's a story behind it, but we're a bit of a party team. I won't lie. Get out amongst it.
Did you get the win?
No, the first time we played them, they whooped us.
Okay.
And that was our first loss in about 40 games, and then we came back in the gold medal match and won the gold medal for the championship. So we're the world champions. So.
Very good.
A bit of a party team. What does that mean? A few chocolate milks and up.
Yeah. We enjoy catching up.
Too many red frogs.
Well, we are back underway at the Graveyard for second half action. NBL 1 game of the week. Lucas Walker will fumble fingers, turns around, lets it fly,
And look, I really like that he's coming out and he's being aggressive, but I still want to see that. I still want to just see him just get it, rip it, and go right at the rim.
Yeah.
Use that athleticism.
Yep.
They need that. They need something. Down 10 here. Rose lets it fly. Oh, that was way off. Good hustle underneath by Simon Grant. He gets the start here to begin the second half. Kadarian Rains just maybe wasn't ready or something. He's going to check in now, and Grant's going to come out.
Grant's shaking his head. Something's happened.
He just enjoyed getting the start there in the second half, and Rains is back out there, ready to bang bodies with Simon Conn down low. 10-point lead to the Raiders. Looking for their second win of the season against an undermanned Spectres squad, and Veronopolis. Oh, great
rebound.
offensive
good athlete.
rebound. And he steps out of bounds, Lucas Walker, and the ball goes back to Knox. He's not happy about it.
And look, that's two mid-range jumpers to get us even started in the second half here for the Nunawading Spectres. You don't really mind it when it's Simon Conn knocking down that little mid-range, but other than that, the first seeing them do something either on the rim or out of the low post.
And Rains turns it over, trying to find Rose. And here comes Veronopolis. Walker just hasn't
Here's your
quite,
opportunity.
hasn't quite had the handle in his first few possessions. There's Con, turnaround, trademark, can't finish. Good hustle from Veronopolis. And the ball's going back to Knox.
We really need Holnopoulos, if that's how you say it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
If he can get that little jump shot going, that's going to help him a long way. At the moment, we need a few extra options for scoring.
Well, he's 1 for 10 from the field thus far, Veronopolis. Here's Thosby fouled. Oh, he passed it up in the end. Scorer's mentality, Grizz. Got to let that thing fly after the whistle.
Saunders not happy about this one either. He thinks it was all ball. Let's have another look.
No, that was clearly on his right arm, and he should have just let it fly. Got himself to the strike. Gandolfo checks in. Saunders comes out.
Oh, very pretty.
They must have been practicing a change-up at training. They're all doing the right to left move.
Saunders checks out actually with 4 personal fouls. He's got 4. Baxter's got 3. As the Spectres have been racking up some fouls.
That's an interesting angle screen, that one. You know, screen into the baseline.
Gandolfo, nice pass.
Good finish by
Time's
John
up.
Cook.
John Cook. And the Spectres hanging in there. Here's Rose, floater from the foul line, front rim.
Really having a hard time tonight.
Hunter finds Rains. And the ball's out of bounds off Knox. Yeah, Mike Rose. What's he got? He's 1 for 6, 2 points. Comes in averaging 13 points a game. And that's a guy, Darren McDonald, that's really looking to get some buckets. Was 3 of 16 from the field last week. Oh. Mike Rose, an offensive foul there called on Lucas Walker. Yeah, he's ice cold. Rose. And it's really this Damon Hire and Adam Thosby, the 2 guys that look most likely from outside for the Raiders. Here is Hire, fade away. And gets, as John Casey would say, the user-friendly roll. The Raiders go up by 12.
He looks good every time he gets that ball. I think they have to do a better job defending him.
Renopoulos finds Con. Gives it to Cook. And the Spectres worked that quite nicely.
Well, it didn't look very pretty, but it was a little big to big action.
The Spectres bigs daring Hunter and Rains to shoot. Flogging up the paint. And he is Higher. Can't hit. Gandolfo skies in for the defensive board. Con, single coverage with Rains. Rolls over that left shoulder and sticks the rolling right hook.
And look, we definitely need to see a whole lot more of that from Nunawading. Get the big fella, Simon Con, a lot more looks in that low post, and it will benefit the rest of the team.
SEMphoenix.com.au for your memberships.
Don't miss them.
More of that from the big fella, says Tommy Greer.
That's what I'm saying. More Simon Con in the block, please.
There's Renopoulos scoring as 2
full of confidence.
Storied associations from the heartland, Chris.
Absolutely.
Go to battle.
There is a number of them out here. 5 of the biggest associations in Australia, all within about a 10K radius of the State Basketball Centre. And that's taking in your Keelslice, your Dandenongs, Frankston, Nunawading, Knox. Massive associations.
You got some love for the smaller ones?
Absolutely.
You know, the Blackburns and...
Absolutely.
There's Renopoulos again.
But even those smaller associations are becoming massive in themselves. Hawthorn growing to be one of the biggest associations as well.
Timeout Knox. Renopoulos has come alive these last few possessions.
8-0 run.
And that has dragged it back to a 4-point game. And all of a sudden, Spectres right back in it.
We can see that Knox are lost at that end trying to score. They've got one guy who's looking good, who's our man that hasn't had a great game until today.
Yep.
But, you know, looking at him, he looks very good with the ball. That's who Nunawading really have to focus on shutting down. But right now they are lost, not so.
That's a really good point, Bridie. Down that end, it does look like a mess. Even when they're playing unselfish, they are moving the ball, but it doesn't look cohesive, does it?
Well, I'm interested. The big fella who did hit a 3 earlier on, he's not even looking at the hoop now. So I'm not sure if he got an instruction not to shoot that again or.
I feel like they play through Rains in the block, but I feel like they should play through Rains and Hunter as screeners, dribble handoff kind of guys, and get the ball primarily in Hire's hands, Thoseby's hands.
Well, with this group, we know this number 7, I don't know the names, but he's actually an aggressive shooter, so that'll put a bit more pressure on Nunawading to play the D, but yeah, they've definitely got an opportunity as we, right now to get back into the game.
And that's Casey Marshall with the rock, matched up with Gandolfo. And Simon Grant's back on the floor as well for the Raiders. Here is Rains again, down low.
Right back inside.
And Hire, oh wow. Love that bounce from Hire as he attacks along the baseline.
He's got some springs in the legs.
The Raiders go back up by 6. And Hire, he's got a game high 20. Walker turns it down from range. Oh,
I'd like to see him take that up.
Yeah.
And the shot clock expires on Walker and the Spectres.
Like you said, he was super quick. He should really get to the rack because that was his shot.
Got that great strong first step. There it is again. He got through the defenders.
Yeah.
Felt like he should have just continued through there, put it on the rim.
The Raiders look to extend their lead. Rains gets the step into the middle. Cleans up his own mess, and again can't finish.
And look, he'll be disappointed with that, especially that second attempt there. He had a really good look that time. Jesse Casper's back in the game.
Rains has 14, Hire has 20. They've got 34 of the team's 54 between them. Here's Marshall. Rains, boy.
I kind of want him to let it go again, don't you? He's knocked one down, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to get any more open than what Simon Con's guarding him in the charge circle.
I don't know why he's not looking at that shot.
He actually comes into the game, I dare say, probably 1 of 2. I've got 50% here from long range.
That's good enough, isn't it? Yeah. Let it fly.
Fouled out in 24 minutes last week, Rains, and he's done a good job of keeping his fouls in check tonight against Simon Con.
I will say I have played a nice sort of finish there by Thoseby. I played under D-Mac when he was head coach of the Melbourne Tigers, and he did have a saying about shooters who weren't prominent from the outside, which I was one of, by the way.
Was it you're open for a reason?
You're open for a reason.
Okay.
I reckon he might have just embedded that.
I heard that from a few coaches along the way.
Mind.
Here's Hire. Can't hit from the corner. What? You thought your reason because you moved well without the ball.
Yeah, I just thought I got myself open. And later in my career, I realised that the scout was suggesting to sit way off.
That's what's happening here, and Rains is turning him down. Thoseby can't leave him open. Whack, that's down. And the Raiders are back up by double digits.
Nunawading need to compose themselves here. They've let a few easy buckets go.
Yeah, real ebb and flow in this game, isn't there? It seems like the Raiders sort of push this thing out to 13, and then Nunawading always finding a way to work their way back into it.
It's a 7-zip run from the Raiders out of that Darren McDonald timeout. And Caspers gets an extra possession for Nunawading.
I think with a young group, sometimes the tendency is to speed up. I think Nunawading need to be a bit more focused, a bit more purposeful on what they're trying to get out of this offense.
And surely with that group on the floor, it should be getting it to Simon Con.
Yeah.
You look around Daniel Baxter, you've got young Gandolfo, Jesse Caspers and Hornopoulos.
I think, you know, the young guys, like you're saying, like I don't know them personally, like exactly what they're about, but
that means
I
you can say
see,
whatever you like.
yeah, but I can see that they've got some good athletes in this Nunawading team, and like you're saying, Tommy, like you'd like to see these guys take a bit more focal point on getting to the rack. They tend to be wanting to play around the outside, but some of these guys need to turn the corner and put some pressure on the hoop and go to finish. See if they can make a difference in this game, because right now playing with 10 points, someone's going to have to step up to, you know, be the extra scorer.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where Simon Conn comes into his own as well, isn't it? You know, feeding off those little, when you have that penetration, draw a defender, Simon Conn is always in those right spots.
Yeah.
And without that happening, it sort of dries up opportunities for the big fella.
Well, that's right. I definitely, you know, one of the things when you slow down, you know, you become a better defender because, you know, when they fake, you don't move. And they run back into you, you know. that stabilising presence, I mean, it is a big thing. But I think some of these young guys, sometimes when they go to the rack, think they're going to make the play to him. They need to do it themselves. They need to get to the rack. And that will free the big fella up to get that little, you know, solid jump shot that we know he's a great shooter at. So someone's going to have to take that confident step to be the next scorer. Here it is.
Here is Con, mid-range,
Boom.
bang.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight out of the timeout. Coach Dunkerberg will love that execution from his squad.
Surely everyone in this gym knew they were going to the big fella out of that.
Everyone that wasn't wearing yellow, seems. Here's Rains in the block.
Now this is a tough matchup. I would like to see them double down, mate. Oh, no, well, that's not bad.
No, I reckon Simon's done a really good job one-on-one in the block against Big Rains.
That's a good hit there from Caspers, and Nunawading out of the Dunkenberg timeout. Come out, 2 buckets, a stop. 4-0 scoring run, and it's back to 7 points the difference.
Jesse Caspers have a bit of impact in this game as well. He's up to the 7 points now. Missing a lot of the year through injury.
Here it is.
That's the shot we've been looking for.
Oh, big fella.
I mean, what are we...
Darian Rains raises 3 fingers and shows him to Shane Bright and Tommy Greer.
I don't understand.
I tell you what, Simon Conn shaking his head, and everyone could see what he mouthed when that went down.
What did he say exactly?
No,
That's a nice hesitation.
It's not for the
You
kids
keep
at
it
home.
family friendly, semphoenix.com.au.
You'd be going at the big fella again, wouldn't you, right now? He's not being guarded.
On the arc.
Oh, yeah. Step him out to the 3.
2 for 2.
Oh, they're daring him to shoot. He's knocked a couple down. He
Oh,
wants
let
it
it
again.
rain. Let it
Oh,
rain.
Let it
gotta
go.
let it go.
You've just got to let it Kadarian Rains.
Not bad, not bad.
Here's Marshall. Oh, the shot clock expiring in the background. And a 2-for-1 opportunity if they want it. Veronopolis sees it. Con doesn't let it fly. Caspers does. And Knox have it, but they've got the clock. Doseby takes it in transition.
Oh, wow.
Adam Doseby throws it down with 2 hands.
That's what I'm talking about.
And there's 10 on the clock now for Veronopolis and the Spectres. Down by 10. And does enough to draw the foul and get to the stripe. Wow, Adam Doseby in transition. Here's the kick ahead from Rose. And
You love this, just when everyone's expecting a nice little finger roll. No thanks, 2 hands, throw it down.
we've got between him and Damon High, they got a couple of guys who can get
The
those,
all-athletic backcourt.
get those sneaky ups. We saw a thunderous dunk from Deontay Burton in the NBL 1
I did see that.
last night.
And look, that has been one of the incredible things about the NBL 1 this year, isn't it? Just the access that you get, being able to see all these games going on across Victoria, and the highlights come up just so accessible.
1 second on the clock, and too late for the Raiders, but they take a 9-point lead into the final break, 64-55.
What's your thoughts on the 2-for-1? 30 seconds to go, 2-for-1.
Take it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep.
Twice on Saturday nights.
You like that?
I'm a numbers man.
You?
No, I look at
You
that.
think
I
it-
look at that play. No, I saw this last time, and Shane McDonald, 45 seconds, ran the ball up into a double team turnover. They were 7 up. This game, you're down. You take the quick shot. you're talking, you know, I don't know. It depends where you are in the game. You know, obviously if you're running hot, I'll take the 2 for 1.
Gotcha.
If I'm up and I'm leading, I'm feeling like, hey, we're on fire. I'm taking the 2 for 1. In that game there, you know, we're down another 2 points now.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, you want to see a little bit of control out of it. You don't want to just come down, rush opportunity.
Yeah, because then you get a turnover, and, you know, instead of getting the 2, that's a 4-point potential turnaround.
There's the scoring leaders. You see Higher with 20, Range with 17, Thosby with 16. And Simon Con's the only scorer in double figures for the Spectres.
Again, that's just the youth of these, well, not youth, but the guys that are coming off the bench, just lacking that little bit of confidence to be the go-to player. That's what's happening there.
I feel like a guy like Mike Rose has something left in the tank tonight. 1 of 8 from the field. He's got 6 boards and 5 assists, but just the 2 points. And the guy for Nunawading that really needs to step up in this last quarter if they're going to come back is Lucas Walker. 7 points, 7 boards, working on a double-double, but just we've been speaking about it all night. That aggressiveness offensively just hasn't really been there, and he's sitting on 4 fouls, which makes things a bit tricky. Well, both Con and Rains are going to start the final term on the bench.
So this is big for Nunawading here. Down 9. You don't want to let that thing blow out before getting Simon Con back into this thing.
Oh, great back cut and good feed from Grant. And Marshall couldn't knock down the open look on the arc. Where does the offense come from in this Spectres lineup, Tommy?
That's really Costas is who you're looking at in terms of aggression. Daniel Baxter, he's a good effort guy. He can get you putbacks and stuff like that, but John Cook launches up the 3 ball, but really is Costas.
He's 3 of 13 from the field.
Yeah, he's not having a good night out.
0 from 5 from range. 6 assists. His playmaking has been on point, but just hasn't had to finish. Grant finds Hunter. Whack, that's
He's 3
down.
for 3, is he? Is that 3 for 3 for that big fella as well?
I think both the big fellas, both the centers knocked down 2 from range, which would have, at least for range, would have been in the scout to sit off.
Yeah, he's 3 for 3. Rains is 2 for 2. 5 of 5 between
Rains and Hunter.
Rains and Hunter.
There
Knox
it
is
is again.
starting front line.
Never look like missing either. Oh, man.
No hesitation, and they cause the turnover.
don't
And he
do
lines
it
up
to him.
another one. James Hunter, a skilled big man. I said earlier, Tommy, I think there's some NBL teams that could give him a bit of a look. Come back into the league.
Definitely got a very tough skill set. Being able to step out to that 3-point line puts him in a pretty unique group of bigs.
He's the 4th Raider in double figures, joining Higher, Rains and Thosby.
Oh, I thought he read it.
And a couple of big moments here for Nunawading. Renopoulos again got right to the spot and couldn't finish.
Yeah, struggling tonight just to finish his plays and put it in the bucket.
It was a good take. It was a great take down the middle.
Should have pulled up a little jump shot. I always got told as my midget status, I had to just make the foul line a layup. You know what I'm saying? These guys go in the rack. It's a tough play.
Make the foul line a layup.
Yeah, it didn't work too good.
It's good enough for how many games did you get up to there?
I don't know, 300 and something.
300 and something. A little bit of time at Killside. There's Con with the shot clock expiring. Good defensive possession for the Raiders. As they start to think about claiming their 2nd win of the season. 12 points up, 8 minutes to go. Starting to look pretty good for the Raiders.
Duncan Berg looking at a little last gasp there. Lucas Walker getting ready to substitute back into the game.
Hunter,
Oh,
wow.
Feeling it.
James Hunter is en fuego in the graveyard.
You'd have to respect that after that, wouldn't you? Like, you've got to start guarding.
Is now the point? Now that he's 4 of 5 from long range?
I think
I
think it would have been in their scout to respect it before the game. I mean, he's known as a bit of a stretch, 4-5. And his higher get-ups.
Oh, wow, Marshall with the turnover.
I'll tell you what, as an athletic guard, you wouldn't be happy. You wouldn't be happy with that. You don't get all the opportunities in the world for a chance to show off the bunnies and get upstairs.
He was running the lane, wasn't he?
He was running it very hard.
You know all about running that lane. Here in
it's the only chance for someone who can't shoot to get some freebies.
Oh, close up there, Lucas Walker. And man, we really want to get going and try and make something of this final quarter for the Spectres. Renopoulos, little pocket pass there for Con. Renopoulos again. Oh, nope, that's
did not look good.
Way off. Grant, I love his activity, Simon Grant.
And it's almost like Costa's taking too much upon himself now.
Oh, good play there from John Cook. Knocking that Mike Rose miss off the rim. Walker, stroke takes about 17 steps into the arc. Puts it on the deck, misses. Renopoulos tries to force the issue. Wow.
He's at 100% every time. It's good intensity, but, you know, wouldn't mind seeing that ball come back out.
And look, I mean, I've got to give it to him that he would normally knock those things down. In these opportunities, Costa generally steps up to the plate. And that awkward play that looks like it's out of control is not. That's the way he plays. It's a very awkward style of basketball, but
they just cannot finish. And there you go, Saunders. Right on cue. It's a much-needed bucket for the Spectres. Cuts it to an even dozen. 6 minutes to play.
A task ahead of them, but far from done. Especially against a team like the Raiders. They haven't done a lot of winning this year. If you start putting the pressure on down the stretch, they could begin to question themselves a little bit.
Well, Berg certainly got the squad in on the floor that could tick things over offensively. We noticed about 2 minutes ago they really had one option at the offensive end, and he's gradually gone about inserting Saunders, Con and Walker back into the game. And you're right, there is enough time on the clock. Darren McDonald responds by getting his big guns on the floor. There's Con. Oh boy, they needed that. Thosby spinning, finds Rains, been in the key a long time, and draws the foul.
Probably didn't need to reach at that. He's been playing pretty good D, staying in front of the big fella.
He's got 17 points, Rains, including those 2 hits from long range. As a squad, they're 10 of 23 from outside the Raiders. And they've been cashing in at the foul line too. That's 13 from 14 now from the stripe.
Oh.
John Cock throws it to the court announcer. And ball goes back to the Raiders. Geez, you can't have that happen when you're trying to come back in the final term. Couple of stops in a row on the menu for the Spectres. And Rains places his order and throws it down.
Great little drop-off pass there by James Hunter as well. Penetrated on the baseline, drew the defense, and then found the big fella.
Good hesitation.
Mike Rose exploring
low step
and scoring. Mike Rose for 2.
And look, few undisciplined errors here by the Spectres down the stretch.
Slow down a bit here, boys.
That's game over there, and it's a basketball party.
Hold it.
It's
done.
It's a 19-point game now. It has blown right out. Like you say, a few turnovers, a few buckets, and the Raiders have blown this thing out. 19 points. Against the undermanned Spectres squad, here you see Duncan Berg calling for time, saying, oh, geez, we might be done here.
So what are the injuries to Shane McDonald? What's happened to him?
He's got a car.
Has he?
Old man kind of stuff.
Oh, geez, don't mind.
It's a bit harsh.
Well, he's in his 30s and he's got a calf injury.
Seaboard legend.
That's not, he is a Seaboard legend. Yep. 7-time All Seaboard first team.
Very impressive.
And Dane Swartella has a back injury that he's been carrying for a little while. And they're hoping to get them both back next week, I'm told.
And look, I mean, it is a very tough situation with the Spectres, isn't it? You add to that the fact they're missing sort of 4 or 5 of, I mean, their starters.
Yeah.
And then add to that their head coach is, of course, away with the 3-on-3 squad as well. Makes things very tough.
It was a win the Raiders had to get, and they've done a good job about getting it. Gandolfo. Whoa, Walker copped a little elbow there from Rains. He didn't enjoy it. Looked a bit more like he ran into that elbow, didn't it?
Yeah.
Spectres trying all
Gonna
the tricks
trap
now with a
themselves,
bit of a trap.
We've got to get after it. On 19, just a tick under 5 minutes to play.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to take some risks now. Bit of gambling on defense, get really aggressive on both ends of the floor. It's the only way for any chance of getting back into this.
Kadarian Rains takes his tally to 22. He's now the game-leading scorer. Con knocks it down. He's got 14. And turnover in the backcourt. 19-point game. 4 minutes 17 to go. And the youngsters just getting after it in full court and getting another possession back for the Spectres. Oh, senphoenix.com.au, by the way, after that last Con
Well done, Scissor Man.
bucket.
I think we should include free throws in this little competition.
What's, Grizz, what's the plan with the import spots you've got remaining? Is that something we're going to see in the next little while, or holding out till Summer League?
Well, we'll definitely hold out to Summer League. Our coaching staff, including head coach Simon Mitchell, doing a really good job sort of scouting leagues all around the world at the moment, creating a bit of a hit list, and we'll target some guys ahead of Summer League. But I mean, there's no hiding the fact we're definitely in the market for a star point guard and a starting centre.
Just don't call me on Sundays, boys.
Are there any imports that have been doing work in the NBL in recent years on that list? There's one in particular who's a former MVP, Jerome Randall, who's currently not signed with the team, and there's one who's an All-NBL first-team centre, Josh Boone, who
absolutely
doesn't look like
and they're the obvious ones that the fans sort of turn to.
Yeah.
When you're looking to fill those positions there, both those guys are 100% on our list, but there's a lot of good players out there and playing in leagues all around the world, and we're just doing our due diligence, making sure that we turn over every stone, as you can tell by some of the signings we've managed to sneak across the line in the last couple of weeks. Before we go ahead and lock anything in.
I feel like there's a bit of a chip on Josh Boone's shoulder right now.
I think there is. I think he's some of his commentary in the media.
I'd like to see him in the league somewhere. Kadarian Rains. Higher put it right on the spot.
Higher put that in Vince Carter territory.
Maybe in the first or second quarter, the big fella might have got up. As we wind down to the final 3 minutes, Saunders, bang, hits another one. Jack Saunders has played well. That's his third triple. He's got 13 points.
He really is an up-and-coming star for the Nunawading Spectres. Been involved with the program for a couple of years now. Just that second touch, caught it in rhythm, straight up, absolute knockdown shooter.
He's a well-built fella, isn't he? Nice and solid.
Well, they're now trailing by 15. Is the door completely closed here? I mean, if Jack Saunders gets hot, and
Look,
3 minutes and 10 remaining.
It's a long way closed. It might not be locked if we can find ourselves a little Tracy McGrady moment, but it's going to be tough with 3 minutes to go. The Raiders have done a good job here tonight, and I think that with Damon Hire still out there, Rain still on the floor, big James Hunter, I think they've probably just got enough in the tank to close this one out.
The Spectres getting after it full court. Thoseby attacking down the middle. And no bucket. And wow, ball's going back to the Spectres. Thought that was off a blue hand. They get it back. And the door maybe tips open a tiny little bit. Gandolfo, he's got Walker open. Needed to let that fly.
Here it is.
Here's Saunders.
That's what you want.
Oh, had a great look at it, Saunders. Couldn't drain the straightaway three. Rains, oh, good look, found Hire, cutting to the rim. And the Raiders go up by 17.
And I think, the Knox Raiders will be really happy with this win. One, just, get the monkey off the back, get a win against a quality basketball association. Getting the fact that a few guys were away, but also just seeing Damon Hire show what he's got, show what he's capable of at this level, along with big Rains. I think they'll start to feel good about themselves. That chemistry will build. I think this Knox Raiders unit, they could be tough in the back end of the season when you look at that starting five. Yeah,
and we talk about their 1-4 record coming in, but they've played some good teams. They've gone down to Kilsyth, Geelong, and Ballarat, who are. Three of they're all good playoff teams. And Melbourne, they got, with Pozoglu and Pinot, Pinot quite well, having signed into semphoenix.com.au.
I love it, Tizzle man, doing a great job.
So, a win here, okay, against an undermanned Spectres team, we know that, but you're right, could just vault them into a nice little stretch of the season.
Big
wow!
Takes it to the hole. My goodness.
James Hunter with the throwdown.
I'll tell you what I love about that, though. Both James Hunter and Baxter had a little look at one another before going up, and they said, we're both going to go for this thing.
Yeah, and Dolfo can't hit. Walker has been quiet. Caspers. And wow, that went in and out and fell back in again. Oh, I want to see a replay of that James Hunter throwdown.
Here he is,
Hunter
big fella,
again.
just cashing in.
James Hunter
My goodness.
is balling out. Here's the throwdown in transition.
Look at this, just a little peek over at Baxter. Decided to meet each other at the rim. And the big 6'10" center for the Knox Raiders throws one down.
What's he got now, James Hunter? 17. He's got 17. No, he's got 20. On 7 of 13 from the field. And he's 5 of 7 from long range, James Hunter. No good there for the Spectres. And as we count down to the final minute of the NBL 1 game of the week, here's Grant. Tries his luck, no good. Oh, nice. Put back there from Malik. Jeez, I'm going to mess this one up. Muna.
Well done.
Good chance I butchered it.
There's a 50-50 chance.
And Saunders adds to his tally. 17 points is the margin.
Door might be closed.
Locked.
There's a padlock on it now.
I glanced down for a moment there. It was Abe New York steps in and knocks one down. So the youngsters for the Raiders coming in and doing the job for Darryl McDonald. Well, here's the replay here of that last hit. Just dared to shoot it, stepped up, no hesitation. And I spoke to Darryl McDonald before the game, and he said felt a little pressure. Good opportunity, but boy, they really needed to make sure they got this one done, and job done. 18-point margin, 21 seconds.
And it really could be, a good stepping stone for the Raiders, like we were talking about before. Get that monkey off the back, get that winning feeling in a tough venue. It's not easy to come into the Graveyard and win in any situation. Over the years, they've just been so dominant. Get out of here, escape with a win. Get back over to the State Basketball Centre. Get things rolling.
And here is the final possession. 3 seconds on the clock and turnover, and that will pretty much do it. As the Knox Raiders, they come in as the 14th team on the NBL 1 ladder, and they take care of business against the undermanned Spectres, 90-73. The Raiders get the win. And that will take Knox to 2-4 on the year. The Spectres will fall to 4-3. The big names were out. And
when are they due back? Shane McDonough, how long's that injury?
Yeah, they're hoping a week, but the calves and backs, they can linger. And in the end, it was James Hunter, Damon Hire, Kadarian Rains, and Adam Thosby that carried the scoring load for the Raiders. Hire and Rains were the game-leading scorers with 22 apiece. Con and Saunders led the way for Nunawading with 15, and Jesse Caspers, the Spectres veteran, chimed in with 10. 90-73 was the final margin for the Raiders. Thank you, Shane.
No, thanks for having us. It was good fun.
Killed it, mate.
Yeah,
and you're going to be on the call for a few more of the Spectres games throughout the season?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'll be here a couple of times, so not sure how many more, but depending on the performance, might get a couple more Guernseys.
Depends if they write him a letter and invite him
down.
down.
If I get written letters,
he waits
not on Sundays, but
not on Sundays.
And Tommy, thank you as well. Great to have you come in to the Heartland, where you've had some good success on this court for the Spectres in the Seabull, and
absolutely, and for the Raiders.
It's true, that's true. Doing great things for Southeast Melbourne basketball right now with the Phoenix. SEMPhoenix.com.au. You can get on there. Memberships are open. Tommy's put a great roster together and a couple of more big pieces to come in, but you can get on there, lock yourself and the family in for the upcoming NBL season. And that is a wrap from us at the Graveyard for the NBL 1 Game of the Week. It's the Knox Raiders 90, Nunawading Spectres 73.